Hey, how you guys doing? It's Corn-Fed, Alise, and Boner. We're a decent way through the build right now, and we just kind of want to do like a quick update on the bike and on Alise and what she thinks is actually happening at the shop.
I hate it.
So, but yeah, anyway, we'll start with the actual paint, right? We've been telling it. Well, you tell me about the paint and what you've done for your paint.
So I did. That's a duck sound, right? I did a ton of sanding, and then after I sanded it, I mixed 1 part vinegar, 1 part water, and it was distilled water, and I sprayed that all over it. And I thought it looked like I thought it looked like crap. I hated it. So I sanded it again, and again, and again. And then I just did straight distilled vinegar over the top, and I got this really pretty rust color on it. And I just kept layering it and layering it. And one thing I noticed is if I left it in the sun, it turned like kind of a flaky rock kind of color, and it just would come right off. But if I put it in shade, then it would have a nice, thick, sticky rust to it. So it has to be done in the shade, it has to be done with distilled vinegar, and it just looks beautiful. I love the layers that came out on it, and then afterwards we went ahead and very carefully took it down and had them do a clear Cerakote over the top of it. And there's like a couple of spots on it that are a little bumpy, but those will wear down over time. You really can't.
Well,
get
and
past
here's
that
the other
'cause it's
thing
rusty.
so like what she was trying to say is the bump issue. That's because for her to be able to rust these, if we were to try and clean it right before you paint it, I'm going to end up wiping that rust off that she worked so hard.
Have the layering.
To get. So unfortunately, you're not going to have a 100% smooth finish like you would on like a painted job. But I actually think it's really
already
cool.
like a lot of them have already smoothed down quite a bit just from coming up and wiping it. And I don't mind it at all. You don't even see it really unless you like get down on the edge and look at it.
Yeah. But if you're there, like all the different colors, like the layering, she said, I think is really, really cool how it came out. No matter how you look at it, it doesn't look the same. It's really cool.
Yeah, so if you do want to do any kind of rust or anything like that, it's a pain in the ass, and you're going to need a lot of time if you want to do it right. But it's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. Didn't enjoy the sanding part, but I enjoyed the rust part.
All right, so moving along, she's finished her fender. Well, the fender's back on the bike. We've also we had to take off her rockers, right? Anytime you're gonna take any of the covers off or anything like that on a Sportster, they have bushings in here, okay? By taking your rockers off and then taking off the valve train, it will release the pressure on your push rods, and it'll make this cover really, really easy to come off, and you won't have to have any problems. So in doing that, Alise has timed her cams. She had her rocker boxes off, put her whole valve train rockers back on. She's rewired her ignition. I said she did cams, the cam timing. And she's also done her covers. So explain a little bit about how that process went.
So for my first one over here, if anyone else is doing this, I recommend having 2 people, because I tried to do it by myself at first, and because some duck went ahead and just let me go for it because I'm stubborn, and so I tried to go for it, and I messed up, and so it's not like perfectly lined up here because the centerpiece floats, and then the 2 top pieces are what actually crimps it down. And if it's just one person over here trying to do it, and you're trying to line it up, plus you're trying to get it all crimped down properly, it's not going to work. You might be able to get it pretty smooth, but you're not going to get it perfect. And I have like a little lip here, but whatever.
And a lot of that has experience, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because we did tell her it's important to line them up and everything else. Now on your twin cams, it's not really a big deal. Your twin cams don't have 3, and the plates actually sit together really, really well. But on a twin cam, you can still see if it's an older guy that's been doing it or somebody that's been doing Evos or Sporties, because it should be lined up right. In extreme cases, if you just don't pay attention at all, and I don't think I've actually seen it ever, I've heard of them supposedly, where they're being so wonky that it could still leak.
Nice and smooth and completely flat. So,
But yeah, we don't force anything at the shop. We just let you learn from your mistake.
exactly, and that's one thing that I really appreciate about it, because I learn a lot better when I make those mistakes, get corrected, and then I go back and I fix my mistakes. So obviously I didn't go back and fix that one because it's there and I'm not
Still serviceable,
too many.
still good to go.
Yeah,
Still
it works, so we're good.
And the other thing is if she were gonna redo it, we would put new gaskets on it. That's part of it too. Every gas, I don't, if it's been kissed and it's tightened, whether it's oil or not oil, if you take it back off, you need to put another gasket on because you're not gonna have the same seal.
Yep.
On a guaranteed way.
As far as the timing goes, and like on the wires down here, I went ahead and redid those wires. They showed me how to solder them and crimp.
Yeah, we did
Solder
that.
and crimp. And so we did a whole new pin graph. We reset everything, so we didn't have to get a new wiring set up or anything like that. We actually had plenty of wires, so we could just run everything back through and attach it.
So now that pin graph you're talking about, all right? So now that, what it is it's not like they just got a new ignition. She actually pulled her old wires, right? And we repinned it. So we used the original Harley wire bus connector, right? Pulled the pins out of it. She then took them, remeasured them, stripped them, put the brand new pins back on, re-threaded them back into it, and actually made a Harley style plug all over again that's waterproofed and everything else.
Yeah.
All the seals.
Yep.
And then I went ahead and zip tied it back up so she quit hanging down. But yeah, that's.
Well, then you also did your
and I
cams.
put the cams.
The cams,
Yeah,
how
we
was
did
that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was once I got it down and learned how to do all the lining and everything. Once you showed me how it all went, it actually wasn't too bad. Once you get the first two down, they all just kind of start falling together, obviously because they all fit together. But yeah, it wasn't bad once I realized what it was that I'm actually supposed to do. So yeah, I enjoyed it. One part I did not enjoy was trying to line up down here, this cover right here, trying to get all that on because I kept getting hung up and
Yeah, without scratching it, right? With
yeah,
the new
I'm
pin.
trying not to scratch it and I'm trying to like carefully pull out here and slide it down in there and being yelled at, don't pull it out too far. I'm not. I might be, I don't know. But no, it was more of a pain trying to line it up without hitting my paint. And so, but they were really great. They helped me to make sure that I wasn't hitting the paint or anything, and we got everything back on.
Well, then we also help you a little bit with the patience too.
Yeah,
Because that's
I
like
have
another thing.
patience.
Well, when you come to the shop well, you've actually gotten a lot better, right?
Yeah.
You're a lot better because when you first came in the shop, it was like, oh, I gotta rush because I only have so much time.
Yeah.
And if you start thinking of it that way, then it's not going to be enjoyable and it's going to be a hard fix.
Yeah.
Right? And that's when you make mistakes.
Yes.
Right? So that's why it's like, hey man, if it's hard, it's whatever. Take a deep breath, relax. It will fit. It's a good day. Just take your time and you'll end up with a much better product than if you try to force it.
Yeah. And I didn't realize how much I've actually learned along this process. I didn't put two and two together until you guys said something today. But I mean, I've noticed, my first try is going and grabbing the right size and stuff like that.
Yep.
That's been cool. But no, you're right. Like as I go through everything, I go to start doing something, realize like almost immediately that I'm doing it the wrong way, and I go and I fix it. And just going back through, I can definitely tell the level of experience that I had from the time that I came in here to the time that I'm at now, and it's only going to grow. So it's only going to get better.
2, 1, match. No, it's too early. All right, so on the front end of the bike, we completely took it off. The entire triple tree, steering stem, bars, forks. She decided she wanted the legs black, right?
Yeah, those are also Cerakoted. So not only did I get the wonderful pleasure of sanding all of my tins, but I also got the wonderful pleasure of doing all the forks as well. So that, I don't know which I despised more, sanding the tins or sanding the forks. I'm not really sure. I think they're pretty well even. You can definitely tell that at some point I just said, duck it. And I just left it because I was done. I was over it. I'm not going to look at the inside of the forks that much. I don't really care. So it's there. I'm tired and I'm hurting. So let's
And I
just
think
get
the
it
best
together.
part of it, is when you see those imperfections.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna remember it.
Yeah, go. Oh, that shit.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to remember it. And if
Yeah.
anybody ever comes to me and asks me about it, tell them, don't do it.
You look pissed off. I'm just asking you, were you looking at the inside of your forks? The other fun thing we got to do with getting those to be painted was to totally disassemble them and fully rebuild the forks.
There's a lot of air in there.
Yeah, that you got to purge.
There's a lot of air you got to purge out of there. So there's a lot of very carefully unscrewing it so you can take the spring out, but also making sure that you maintain pressure so you don't lose an eye or kill your partner, which I think I almost shot you with spring at one point in time. There was a very quick brush back. But
Judy Chop.
it was just a very
Ninja
quick just
train.
push away. And but yeah, nobody got hurt, which was good. But yeah, then I had to put the fluid back in and the springs and everything. And that was after, actually we did an acid wash, right? It was,
Yeah, no, we cleaned
Yes.
everything. Yes,
yeah,
we did.
yeah, I had to do an acid wash on everything. I forgot about that. And that stuff. Yeah, wear gloves
Yeah.
and wear a
hardcore
whole
greasers, yeah.
lot of protective gear because it will actually eat through the gloves at some point too. But yeah, I didn't actually get hurt or anything. This stuff's very corrosive. But it worked great and did a whole lot of pumping on getting all of the air out of there. And then once it was together, I quickly assembled it with the guys, and we were also focused on trying to get everything to fit down here because the size changed on us once we added the Cerakote, so we had to take out a washer or
We had to reshim it just
We had to
because
reshim
of the
it.
thickness of the paint on each
yeah.
side.
And when we did that, we were so focused on this that we forgot about the height on the forks. And so we had 3 inches sticking out of the
Oh, yeah,
top
yeah.
on each side. So the guys were nice enough to do that for me because I was done.
Yeah, well,
It's kind of weird when you're trying to get it both in there.
it was really odd. When we were trying to get it all set in, it was just I was so focused on down here that I completely ignored what they had told me, and I gapped that whole top
But
section.
this is even after you'd already done the steering stem bearing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
and
how
this
was that? Remember pulling the
Oh
steering
my
stem
gosh.
bearing and
Yes.
pressing it?
My shoulder was dead for the next 4 or 5 days. I just constantly slamming on that thing, trying to pull all those, was it bushings?
Yeah,
The
your
bearings.
bearings.
Trying to
Yeah,
pull the
race.
bearings out and then trying to put the bearings in.
And the races.
And oh my
Yeah.
gosh, yeah, that was fun. It
Yeah.
was fun. I like the engine work more than I like the
Chassis
body work.
work.
Yeah.
We've done the entire front end now. You have all new bearings, your suspension's
Yeah.
even dialed in.
It'll be like a brand new bike.
Different weight in the suspension oil,
Yeah.
right? Based on
Yeah.
riding conditions and other things that are out here. So it's dialed in for you. So you have tuned suspension in the front. Brand new fork bearings. Those are going to be good for 50,000 miles,
Yeah,
right? So
that'll go in about 3 months.
Oh yeah, I bet you
So.
cannot wait.
No, I can't. I'm super excited for it. But yeah, so next go around is we have wiring to do. And
so
We're basically at the end of the day today.
and we got the outer primary cover back on. The reason we had pulled it off, we removed the clutch and the rotor and crank sprocket to be able to replace the gear shifter.
Yeah, where's her old one?
It's in the trash.
Okay. You say because not
that
only
thing was curved.
yeah, and the splines were all jacked up on it and
Curved
stuff
isn't
too.
always a good thing.
So, well, tell us a little bit about going in here and replacing anything in here that you remind yourself of.
So actually, that was all fairly simple, except for the fact that what's this guy called again on this side? Magnetic guy.
Oh,
Oh,
the
rotor?
rotor.
Yeah, okay, so the rotor is magnetic and extremely strong. So when you're going to place everything back on, as the guys told me, it's much better to align the chain back up into your cover first. Start to align this side, and then put this side on to make sure they go in nice and smooth, and keep the fingers out of the way, because when that thing plants down, it will skin your fingers. When I was taking it off and I was having to like rock it back and forth, I actually did crimp the tips of my fingers and magnate a couple times. But when we got it back on this time, it was pretty easy. It was a lot easier than taking it off.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where even if I tell you about it until you've actually touched it and felt it and done whatever,
Yeah.
it's gonna happen. I mean,
Yeah, you really don't know until you go to put it on there. But yeah,
Keep your fingers out of the one area. As long as you do that, it'll still startle you, but you won't lose no skin.
watch your digits and you're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was relatively easy once I saw how everything went through. And really the entire bike, so far everything's been relatively easy as long as I have extra strength to help me out to get some of the parts, because some of the parts are just, I'm not strong enough to get to them. Or to release them. Except
Just
the
get a
one
bigger-
part.
What was the torque you did on that thing?
210, 220. So yeah, I had to do a 210, 220 torque over here. But I mean, there's other ones on here that it was really hard. But anyways, it was just, I don't know, it's a lot easier than you realize. I came into this super stressed out and thinking that I wasn't gonna be able to do it, but
well, like I said, I notice
gotten
a
really
big.
far.
I notice a big difference too now. Now, we've been telling you the whole time, don't worry about the bolts because you'll know, right? And you're
Yeah.
finally starting to get what we mean when you put the bolt in. All the bolts, no matter it's this long, or whatever, it doesn't
They
matter.
sit out
When
the
you
same.
put it in the cover, it should stick out about the same amount of length. So if you're like, you got one, well, that must not be the one that goes there.
Yeah.
Same thing if you got one that's super short.
You got a big pile of
Yeah.
bolts, you just got all your bolts.
Yeah.
It's all good.
We did have one minor thing that we're going to go through and take care of on one of the bolts. And hopefully that video will come out here in a little bit and hopefully it goes super smoothly. But like I said, the other thing that we like, the other thing that we say, the other cool thing that we say is if this is the best place to make a mistake.
Yep.
Because I have all the tools and everything else that you're going to need to be able to fix that mistake.
All you gotta do is find the tech.
Yep.
So, but yeah, we still have a little bit more to go. We got to finish up doing the clutch and the clutch adjustment and all that. Once we're done there, then her soldering class that we'll probably post here in a little bit. We actually gave her a class on how to solder. She's going to end up using that as we go through and start resoldering all our wires
Yeah.
and everything else. But we're starting to come towards the home stretch. I mean, there's still some work that needs to be done. There's some things that really need to be checked and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
But I mean, the cams are back in the bike. The whole primary guts are there. Our rockers are completely sealed again.
It looks like a bike.
It looks like a bike.
Yes,
The
yes.
front end's on it.
Yes,
Right.
oh,
It's
the
standing up on
carburetor.
its own.
Yep.
Yep, carburetor's been rebuilt. So
Car's
been
carb will be getting on probably here after we get the wiring done. So
And once everything else is put together, we'll even have the ignition timing. That'll be
Yeah.
fun.
that'll be fun.
I'm actually excited to do ignition timing. Like
Yeah.
I'm really
Have you
curious.
ever- did you ever-
Bye.
I say good day.
I guess that's closing. No, hey, so anyway, I hope you guys enjoy what's going on with the build and everything else so far. If you'd like to give any suggestions or ask any questions or whatever, go ahead and like leave a comment
Yeah.
or something like that.
There's the suggestion. It was really hard to get out of there.
Yeah, it's positive
Yeah.
reinforcement only. All right. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting.
Thanks,
Check it
guys.
out, guys. It was good to see you again. Hopefully, you guys keep following, subscribe, like, leave comments about corn fed. We'll be good to go.
Bye.
Bye.